Boom! Welcome back to the Friday Five, everyone. It is November 22nd, 2019. This is episode 34. I'm your host, Cameron Ripley from Community Boost, and welcome back to the Friday Five. We're going to dive into your biggest digital marketing challenges. We're going to answer as many of those as we can over the next 5 minutes, and we're going to try and keep this show as tight to 5 minutes as we can. So let's go. Boom! All right, first question here is from Melanie, development specialist at Europe. Biggest digital marketing challenge is we are a national site but cater to local markets, so finding the right verbiage that fits all of Europe. Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying here. At the end of the day, like, we can do a ton of geo-targeting through all ad platforms, whether it's ad grants, Facebook ads, and in theory, we should be creating landing pages as needed for that. So especially if you're doing digital ads and investing both time and or money into those, if you're running certain ads in a Google ad grant, and it's for San Diego events and just in San Diego, you want to take them to a landing page that really speaks to that. Same thing on the Facebook front. Really take advantage of geo-targeting on all ad platforms. But then overall with the verbiage front, I think that just comes down to, crafting different messages, see what resonates, and creating user experiences as you break that down and really thinking about that user journey. Okay, next is from Eileen, communications and fundraising specialist at Hawaii Appleseed Center for Law and Economic Justice. Biggest digital marketing challenges: our online audience is relatively small in Hawaii. We have somewhat of an online presence, but engagement is pretty low. We need to build our audience of young, energetic people who are willing to engage online. And, while I definitely hear your challenge, right, that can feel like a small audience, and it is potentially, I don't think you're incorrect. But what is cool, though, is we know that audience. You feel like you know where it's at, and kind of to the above statement, we can do tons of geo-targeting within Facebook and Instagram ads, Google ad grants. And I think one thing that comes to mind in regards to this younger audience is your mission sounds intriguing. And if you can find young people, micro-influencers with 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 Instagram followers. I have a fair amount of friends from Hawaii, and they have large followings. You can leverage that as well. So finding people that care about your mission, that hopefully have a lot of friends who wouldn't mind promoting it, and just direct message them, reach out to them on Instagram. Hey, we're running this event. Hey, we're running this campaign. Would you be important in supporting this? Because your advantage is how local you are, and you can tap the community, and they should care extra because it's so focused in the place they live. All right, next is from Michelle, development marketing support role for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And the biggest digital marketing challenge here is we have historically relied mostly on corporate donors and government funding. So we're trying to build a base of individual donors. Changing our strategy has been a challenge, and we're just trying to learn more about it. So, I think this makes a ton of sense. I mean, at the end of the day, individual giving, when done well, can be significantly predictable. We don't have, like a large piece to a corporate donor that they might cut funding. Obviously, I've seen a lot of organizations go through corporate partnerships over the years, but I think your transition here, or even just addition and like further evolution of your funding model, makes sense from a gut reaction just for the sector overall. But building that base can take work. And, for us, we really, like, one thing is you do have the corporate donors, and I would ask, can we leverage that to create like a match what new individual donors, and hopefully increase the amount that give first time, and then work with those leads and hopefully drive referrals, or be able to have people be advocates, use social credibility, share why they support your cause, which I know can be a sensitive subject, but a lot of times when it comes to individual giving, people give because they love the cause, but they also give because their social credibility and their friends are speaking to the cause and why it's so, so important. And I know your mission is exactly that. So I would think about leveraging corporate donors. And then from there, again, think about that marketing funnel when it comes to individual donors, driving engagement, driving support, kind of like this, as like a Gary Vaynerchuk says, like a jab, jab, jab. Like you're just, providing value, sharing the mission, and then you go for that initial ask. And once you get that first donation, it's all about stewardship, continuing to nurture and build somebody into a retained recurring donor potentially, or someone who continues to give consistently. All right, let's see, we've got time for one more here. Felicia, Senior Director of Annual Giving at Salem Academy and College.edu. Biggest digital marketing challenge is keeping up with rapid changes in tech. Yeah, I mean, this is a problem many organizations are constantly needing to navigate and deal with. But keeping up with that is also one way to look at just like the price to be great. And the organizations that that develop that muscle to try new digital technologies faster typically are better and outperform, right? You think of brands like a Charity Water that really invested in the power of content and quality of content and storytelling early, a lot of brand building that necessarily might not have had an ROI out of the gate, but then they completely crushed it, or they were one of the first to roll out birthday fundraisers and just trying new things. And you see organizations that, yeah, maybe they were trying Snapchat and people are like, why are you doing that? But the same skill set that they learned on that platform is now applied to Instagram stories and they're crushing it. So you got to just think about where your audience is where your audience's attention is at. And we have to market there, and we have to internally build a culture of trying things, of failing, of learning. And then when you have team members that are really passionate about digital, about technology, about how it can help scale your impact, that's when you absolutely win and rise above the rest. And I think that's kind of my general thesis on that, and why it's imperative to keep up with changes in tech. Or I also believe you're putting your organization at risk in the next 5 to 10 years if you're constantly slow and like a laggard in adoption. All right, hopefully we're not ending on a woe note, but obviously we're passionate about digital. Nonetheless, thanks for tuning into the show. Be sure to subscribe. If you find our content valuable, tell your friends, tell your peers, tell your colleagues, and we'll see you next time.